Thank you, Swami. Okay. Sai Ram, everyone, welcome. And for those who celebrate Happy Navratri, thank you for, we know you have many choices. So thank you for joining us today. The nature of this session right off the bat is going to be pretty interactive. So to the extent that you can, the audio is fine, you can obviously listen to it, but I think it might be helpful if you're able to see things on the screen because we're going to mix it up just a tad bit today. So I'm here with Sai Datta, who is going to be co-facilitating this with us. And off to the next slide. We'll just take a quick overview of the agenda. So, like every week we do, we'll do we'll do a quick recap of the journey, and then you already have a sneak peek into the current topic introduction. We will be doing a fair amount of Q&A in this session, so have your questions ready, have your thoughts ready, and then there will be an opportunity to reflect and journey ahead. So welcome again, everyone. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sai Datta.
Sairam, everyone. Thank you for joining. In this beautiful series of transformation where we learn about Swami's teachings and try to put it in our practical day-to-day life, it's like the learning of from text to a practical implementation of it. We started our journey being the modern Arjuna. That means a person who is full of doubts, full of questions, confusions at times, and also complains more than often, right? And the complaints that we make, I mean, we first started with understanding these complaints that we make and try to be vigilant about it, try to understand this a little better. And when we say about when we are vigilant, when you're aware of a problem, then your next step is to resolve it, right? Is to reduce it or do something about it. So when we were doing the first episode, that's what we learned about being vigilant about our complaints. And when I say about reducing it, it's not just suppressing the feelings, but it's trying to understand the trigger points, trying to understand what is it that triggers those or starts that in us to begin with, right? And once took a closer look to these complaints, we try to understand which of these complaints can be actually converted to a learning experience or a learning for ourselves. And that helped us being a student where we make the entire universe our university. That is learning from our surroundings, be it kids, be it elders, your teachers, your friends, learning from them to understand these things and understand how we can become a better version of ourselves. And in this process was a theory that was coined called like flip the switch, which is trying to understand these problems at different levels and then come up with the solution ourselves. And again, all these things, all these solutions that we're looking for is all within us. And when I talk about flip the switch, it's definitely not a quick solution, but it is a gradual process. It's a learning process where we at least try to understand these things, try to take a pause and look at it from a distance and analyze it at different levels, try to reason with ourselves, come up with the solution that we can do. And when we come up with these solutions, implementing these is a different challenge, right? So even working towards it will take a lot of discipline among ourselves, like within us. So all these learnings that we will be doing or we have done so far, we have realized that everything, all the things that we need to learn or implement is all within us. So this journey is just helping us understand that ourselves even better. And that was revealing the hidden treasure. That is the one which is within us. The different characteristics of these Atma were discussed in our previous episodes where we spoke about understanding the eternal nature, then the indestructible, then try to explore the manifest, the unmanifest, something that is within us that has not manifested yet, but we are capable of that. So all these learnings just tell us that we are way more capable of what we are doing right now. We are stronger than we think. Right? And that brought us to all these characteristics of the Atma, which goes as immeasurable, indestructible, eternal, unmanifest, and the one that we'll be covering today, that is immovable.
Wow. Saidata, you covered a lot of
So
ground.
big one.
So can we go back? Yeah, can we go back to this slide? So I have a question for you. So I know
Mhm.
you talked about the journey that we've taken, starting with the modern day Arjuna. I've taken the journey as of all the people here. But tell me specifically you, as in you, Saidatta, what did you take away the most? What muscle did you develop? What it is that you personally did differently?
I think out of all these things, the one that stuck with me was flipping the switch. I mean, that was one part of it where anything that goes on day by day that feels like a problem, if you just like take a pause and just instead of overthinking, if I just see it from a distance, I try to understand what I can do to change. That definitely helped. And again, it did not happen right away, to be honest. It has a learning curve. And in some situations, I'm able to do it. In some situations, I'm still struggling to do that. But yeah, that is something that I could relate to, and that definitely helped me understand things better. How about you, Brother Sanjeeva? What did you relate
Oh
to the
boy.
most?
Boy, I was really hoping you wouldn't ask me that. Okay. I think similar. I think that out of all of these, I mean, pieces of everything, but I think the two things that really stood out for me is in the very first episode is becoming a student. I think
Hmm.
what's happened is that I sort of, it's a little bit of a wiring where, you know, I'm constantly thinking, okay, why is it happening? Why is it happening? I'm parroting a little bit. I'm channeling my inner brother Suresh here. Why is it happening? You know, what is it about this, right? Not necessarily why is it happening to me, oh, me. No, not like that. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not a victim here. But what is it that I'm supposed to learn here, right?
Hmm.
In this situation. And so this notion of, the world being a university, I think that is, for me, it's personally been a shift where
Hmm.
going back to a point that you made earlier, it's really looking for whatever it is that I'm looking for. If there is a particular challenge, I'm looking for that solution within, right? So again, the world is not there to necessarily, entertain me. But if there is something that's going on, then, get underneath it, understand it, and so on. So I don't know, sounds like a little philosophical. Does that make sense, Saifata? Or
It does. It does. It always sounds a little easier when Uncle talks about it and everything makes sense during when we are on the
yeah,
call. But yeah, once we are off it and it's time for our normal 9 to 9 job, the things
yeah,
become a little cloudy after
yeah.
that, I would say.
Well, I suspect that you and I are not the only people here in this universe who are
Hope
going
not.
through this. And boy, do I wish there was a video or something that would explain a little bit about what is it that we're learning and the gap between the
Yeah.
lessons and what we're able to actually implement. So could we
Yes,
have something
I
like that, Saidata?
yeah, for people who have seen the trailer, it is, I'm sure you've gone through it, but here's a beautifully curated thing that we're talking about, so you can go through the video and look at it yourself. There it is. Yes, what we get on the call, what we actually experience, we definitely see there's a loss in translation, right? We are losing something.
Yeah. So what, I mean, we went through this video. I love the way it ended, right? In particular, where this person is kind of, the ground is so shaky. It's like the earth is spotting and, the kind of the hand is out. What I know where my, having gone through all of this and talked about how it's changed my outlook, I know there's some anxieties that I live with actually on a pretty, day-to-day basis. How about you? I mean,
Mm.
what do you feel, Saidata, when you come across it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that right? Like even after all this time, there are still situations where I get a little flustered. I mean, like I work in IT, and day in and day out, I see my colleagues. Some of them are doing some certifications. Same time, some of my friends lost their jobs. Some of them started their own entrepreneurship. But that uncertainty part, right? Like tomorrow, like will this be there or not? Am I doing enough to be updated with the technology? Am I doing enough to stay afloat? Right? I think sometimes that gets to me, and that fear of unknown is
Uh,
something that gets to me at times. You were also saying something in similar lines?
I, it's actually similar. Mine's not a specific thing. It's just this kind of gnawing anxiety in the back. And it has to do with, this constant feeling like I need to do something. And,
Mm,
this one of, and I'm so sorry, it's going to sound a little philosophical, but I'll keep this really, really short. But it's in the spiritual journey. It's like sometimes I feel like, yeah, there's progress being made. Brother Suresh says, right? Are you calmer? Are you more equanimous? Are you more relaxed? Are you able to bounce back? All those things. But there are times where I'm like hung up on, I need to do something, right? And I'm not, and
yes.
really hard on myself in the process of, constantly feeling like that. So that's what makes my ground really, really shaky. But
Mm,
that
exactly.
said, but that said, I know that you and I are not, again, the only people in the universe. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, we talked about, what making the ground shaky. Let's turn it over to our audience and ask them the same question.
If you can scan the QR code here, we can, I'll share the results soon and we'll see the results in Mentimeter. So you can put your answers in like one word or maybe a 3-word thing, but try to keep it like short, crisp,
Yeah.
and please send your answers to us too.
And so to
Siam,
reiterate,
do you
yeah,
also have the URL? Not
Yes,
everyone
it
I
should
maybe.
I
be.
just
Yeah,
posted
it
it
should
in
be
the
in the chat.
chat, Sairam, so
Sairam takes Tanush.
whatever comes to mind, whatever makes your ground
Not
shaky.
taken control, uncertainty, yes. Sudden challenges, yeah.
Yep.
Anxiety, expectation of others, yeah.
Uh,
Tried results, not okay. Uncertainty is yeah, most of it. Attachment, okay.
I love this. So much to do. So
Fear of
I'm not
failure.
the only one who's in
I'm
the
glad you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is
Things
actually,
not going to plan. No, not going according to the plan. Yes.
yeah,
So much to do and there's so little time. Okay, I think this is one thing. Yes. So much to do and little time.
yeah.
Pride, okay. Health issues, to face the unknown,
I can relate to that one in slight low
pressure.
fear of mediocrity. I love that. Wow.
Yes,
That's a good,
yes.
that's a fascinating one. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we just fall into this mundane process day in and day out. We forget that there's an upward journey and it's not just flat. Sure.
Wow. So we have this is fantastic.
Definition.
Yeah. This is a pretty engaged audience here. We're like 40 responses already. I mean, this is fantastic. Keep it coming, folks. This is fantastic. This will shape the rest of this session. Others' expectations, suffering.
Analysis paralysis. Like overanalyzing stuff?
Yeah.
And there are
That.
few
Yeah.
on the chat as well, guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we have suffering of close one and fear of the uncertainty.
Okay.
Yeah, Anusha, like if possible, like you can put it in the like it's multiple answers. So probably if you put there, I don't have to switch.
Yeah,
to
I can put it into the.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Attachments is
Oh,
another
no.
one. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay. So this
Yeah.
yeah. This is a
Quite a
tough
few.
one. I thought there'd be like, a couple of themes or something, but it just is across the board as to what are so many things that make us shaky. The good news is
Yes.
that, we're not the only ones. Everyone has something that
Yes.
makes us a little bit shaky. I wonder though, what would be the opposite of that, right?
Right. At least like this is not a constant state of mind, right? We are still
Yeah.
able to like there are things like this, there are fear, health issues also. I understand there are things like FOMO also,
Yeah.
pride, attachment. But
Yeah.
the thing is like having been through these sessions or having been grown up with parents, seeing them do stuff, we also are able to pull ourselves out of this situation. We're not
Yeah.
there constantly, it's up and down, right? So we would like to know again, the next question would be like, what helps you pull out of that? What helps you hold your ground? I think that's the.
So when you say hold your ground, Saidata, just so everyone is on the same page. So it's the opposite, right? It's like, okay, what
The
makes you
opposite, yeah.
shaky? So I mean, we'd love to hear from the audience, but what makes you hold your ground?
For me, yes. Sometimes, like we have the weekly study circle and it happens. I mean, like there would be something or the other. Maybe sometimes I get the answers in a reel. Like it could be as random as that. But sometimes I hear some things from like B. Swami's discourses, or even if a bhajan goes the way I prepared it or the way I wanted to, if it goes nicely in the session, that itself brings me to stable ground. That's like, okay, everything is going to be fine. It's going to be as Swami wants it, so it'll be fine. So even small things like that also helps me come back from that situation. How
Got it.
about you?
Got it. I wish I had something a little more profound to say, but the one thing that comes to mind is what I can't remember. It might have been from Prema Vaini, from it's kind of stuck in my head a little bit. It's like a little voice, like a turntable. It's like this too shall pass, Namaha. So, you know what I mean?
This
So I'm
too
like,
shall pass.
okay. You know
True.
what? It just and I've learned over time that, all the stress and the anxiety and all the stuff, I mean, it just it dissipates. Whatever the issue is, it normally it's the issue, and then it's the thoughts associated with the issue. And it normally just, if the energy sort of, dissipates as something goes on. But that's what makes me hold my ground. It's like, those roots. But I would love to hear from this very engaged audience. What makes you shaky? We got a lot of responses. What makes you actually hold your ground? This would be interesting. Can we do that? Can we do a Mentimeter for that, Sayata?
Let's go there.
There we
What
go.
helps you hold your ground?
Yeah.
Belief, faith, acceptance. Acceptance for me. Getting tasks done. Just sitting and worrying, getting things done, keeping yourself busy. That also. Minded of my side values, compassion, forbearance. This too shall pass, Namaha. This too shall pass. Self-confidence, surrender.
Oh,
Nice one.
I
Serving
love
Swami.
this. Yeah. Faith, flip the switch. I love that.
Swami's assuring words. Flow. Okay. That's also like going with the time. Yes, that's like I am not the doer. Yeah, understanding that it's
Yeah.
okay. Letting go.
Yeah.
Surrender to the Almighty.
Chat mentioned it, faith.
Things work out somehow. Yes, we just have to have the patience for that and things fall into place.
Yeah. Anusha, are there, while this is getting popped up, are there anything in the chat, or Anusha, Geeta, anyone that we can't see? Is it?
We
Are there?
We
have
added it onto
engaged
the
in,
thing.
yeah,
Okay.
engaged in Namasmaran, reaffirming faith and faith.
Ah,
I'm trying to put it into the mail.
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's
May I
great.
say something?
Wow. So
Can you hear me?
I have to tell you,
Okay.
Saidata, I mean, this is fantastic. I really
Okay.
dig this. I really dig this whole multimeter thing, right? I have to be honest. There are some things that are like, yeah, but this is
It gives us
really,
the
ooh, I
it
like
gives us
that.
the vibe of the group also, right? And
Yeah.
like we understand where we are at right now. Yes.
This is like really impressive. Wow. Okay. So we have so many different but similar, so many different responses for shaky, and an equal number of interesting things. I think you can't. It's hard to kind of stitch this all the way through. You can say, well, it's one thing, surrender, etc. But I mean, looking at these responses, so I think we sort of need to phone a friend, call the expert, 50-50, all in one shot. What do you think?
Yes.
Who
Yes.
can
Let's
we
do
bring
that.
in? Yeah, who is possibly available?
Who else?
Who else? Okay, so Brother Suresh, welcome. Can you turn your camera on, please?
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Sai
Help us,
Ram.
yeah,
By the,
help us out, brother.
by the infinite grace, love, and compassion of Bhagavan Baba, we are here in this beautiful satsang. So if you go back, I really enjoyed your conversation between both of you. I was thinking, why should I interfere? So nice to just hear this. If you look back at the earlier mentee, the one that you talked about, go back to, is this the one? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
What makes
Okay.
you shaky? Yeah.
No, not shaky. Go back to the earlier one. Okay, so, okay, never mind. Leave it here. Okay, look at this now. What holds your ground? What holds your ground? You look at the words that have been used. There's a common thing that comes out. You see, acceptance, faith, belief, engage in namasmaranam, being in the flow, perseverance, and all that. Okay, so this is all words connoting to one dimension of existence. You see, now go to the shaky one, the next one. What holds you to ground? Sorry, the other one. What is making you shaky? Look at that. Okay, look, uncertainty, attachment, FOMO, lack of confidence. Where do you think this dimension of existence is based upon what you know? I'm asking both of you. That means this is now words denoting which component of the human personality you think? Lack of confidence, shaky, not sure. Which one?
Like the upper layer, I would say, the surface layer.
Okay. Yeah. So what is the surface? What is at the upper layer?
The
If you
physical.
look at the physical. Which one?
Yeah, the mental. Yeah,
that's it.
The answers are coming in fast and furious, brother. I saw two answers: the mind, and I heard
all
ego.
answers. Yeah. Yes,
Thanks
all these answers are coming.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the top of the ocean, there will be waves. So now you look at it. All what makes you shaky, if you remain at the top of the ocean, are these waves. Waves, uncertain, lack of faith. This is all waves. Now, waves are only created at the mental level. That is why this summary of all these words equivalent to expressions of the mind. Okay. Now, you continue to live at the level of this mind and continue to live our life like this, going for a while to the center, Bhagavan, my mind is like this, Swami, and keep on doing the same thing. You'll find it is only at this level. So how long are we going to remain at the top of the ocean, battling all the waves, continuously exhausting ourselves? You find that there's a lot of energy wasted. However, if you go to the deeper portion of the ocean, which is the seabed, Seabed is Atma. Now you go back to the other one. If you look at the qualities of the Atma, what makes you unshakable, you see? Now go back to the other one. You'll find that beautiful expressions of the characteristics of Atma, immeasurable, indestructible, eternal, and all these qualities. Now manifest these words into your mentee words that you have just chosen. Superimpose these words to the one, go back to the mentee of the first one that you use. What holds you grounded? No, the other one.
Yes.
This is all mind. Okay, this is at the top of the ocean. Go to the bottom of the ocean. Okay, look at this. Faith, belief. Okay, so when you go to the bottom part of the ocean, hey, I'm getting stability. Hey, I'm getting all the expressions of the Atma comes out here. This is how to tie in both the subjects, both of this mentee towards what you want. Now the choice is yours. This is what Krishna told Arjuna. What do you want? You want to remain at the top of the ocean and be confused and have lack of clarity and keep on making your assumptions and biasness? Or do you want to come to the bottom of the ocean and see the seabed and realize your divinity and then act? So Arjuna, 17 chapters, he walloped him out of shape and put him back on the order. And then therefore he fought the battle. So the real reason why we are lacking clarity is because we tend to be at the top of the ocean. Whenever we are confused, whenever we are uncertain, whenever we feel doubtful, remember, you are now floated up to the top of the ocean. Don't remain there. That is why orientation to the Atma, understanding the Atma, spiritual, is to make us go down to the lower levels, to the deeper levels, of the seabed. In the seabed, you can look up, you can see the waves, you can see everything, but you are not. This is the meditation mode, which we call witness mode. It is in this witness mode that insights will come. You can able to connect the dots. You are able to have flashes. You'll have to have creativity. Is at the seabed. So don't ever think spiritual life is an extracurricular activity away from your office work and family life and just once in a way, just come and attend. No, it is actually the essence of what life is all about. Everything else is moving around this particular thinking and belief. Yeah. Makes sense?
Yes, exactly. We were talking about like everything is there, but then we like put our ego in somewhere and then everything like breaks apart, right? You were talking about something in those lines also.
Yeah.
You wanna...
So this particular picture is very powerful, very, very powerful picture. You see, ultimately, our job is to remain at the stable ground, which is what? Atmic level, full of bliss, full of joy and all that. But when you put the ego prism inside, the white light reflects into different colors. And this is where we see the world in a colored way, in a biased way. Limitations, doubt, anxiety, fearful. We know that, therefore, the ego prism has come inside. What should I do? How many? You see, remember, you were telling all this is whether this is going to happen in my life. See, all these questions are coming from the ego prism. I take out the ego prism, I'm blissful, peaceful, but I put the ego prism, doubts come in, fear come in. So who puts the ego prism there? It is because it is placed there by society, community, and also our own conditioning. We put it there. Our entire purpose in coming to Bhagavan is to destroy this and return back. That's all. This is the summary of the entire process.
So how do you tie this back to, the immovable? I hear you.
So
I understand that, but how do you tie this back to, if you go to the next slide, the immovable, right? Because we've been studying this for 8-9 months now, and I'm just, and I'm pretty sure our audience will have some questions on this as well. Like, what is it? I mean, what is this immovable? Because you've talked about unshakable, you've talked about the bottom of the ocean. What does that look like for us? How does it feel like? What does it do?
In fact, you have written it down here also. The answers are already in your question. To be steadfast, to stand on the foundation, is never shaken, representing unwavering faith, to be consistent in our conviction. All these expressions are the fact that you're standing on immovable ground. And you cannot stand on immovable ground if you're continuously functioning from the level of the mind. You must move to the Atma. So the Atmic experience, that is why we go to Bhajan. That is why we do Seva. That is why we do the study cycle. Why? To continuously become knowing that Bhagavan is the one, this Bhagavan is the reflection of the Atma, we must reach the Atma. So don't allow the mind to hijack the agenda. So we must have a deliberate way when we see the mind doing his business. Hey, who are you to give me fear? Hey, who are you to give me a lack of clarity? Who are you to confuse me? Step aside, step aside. So don't allow the mind to hijack our identity. The problem is you entered the flight and you're traveling to Beijing, and suddenly hijackers come and take you to some other place. So the flight is hijacked. So in that hijack, you're standing in fear. You don't know what's going to happen, where this destination is going to go, because the hijacker is the mind, hijacked our destination, hijacked our purpose. So we are so terrified in our life, don't know what's happening. So that means you have been hijacked. Your mind has hijacked you. That clarity we must have. Once we have that clarity, you will start to have a courage. Hey, who is the mind to hijack my flight? I should not have this. Then you have the Atmic realization that this is not what reality is all about. Then you stand. That is the immovable faith that you have. Bhagavan, like you were conversing just now. Even this will pass. Even if you're a cloud, yes, this will pass. This will pass. That attitude we must have. If that attitude is not there, we'll get stuck inside and we'll be forever panicky and all that. So your mind will tell you how spiritual you are. If the more and more the mind is present, you know that we are not actually moving in that direction. So this is sadhana that we must do continuously in our life.
And when you were talking about being consistent in your conviction, being like unwavering, all that, but sometimes, like, if you are like someone, when I'm stuck with that thought, but it is perceived as sometimes being like very rigid, somebody who is not able to see anything else. I mean, your perseverance, and I mean, the perspective that you have sometimes becomes very difficult for others to work around it and not able to change that, not able to adapt. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds very much like stubborn, like that's not immovable, right?
No. That stubborn and resistance to change is a very poor definition of immovable. Immovable is only based upon the fact that your unshakable faith towards achieving the highest goal. So your focus is so amazing. Now you got many people around you. Now your job is to use your love, your compassion, and motivation and enthusiasm and move everybody in the river that you're flowing. That is what it is. So the fact that not everyone can see the vision that you have, but the idea is that if you see it and you can feel that this will benefit this organization or yourself, then our job is to continue to this. Just like the son, come in, son, don't play in the rain, you'll get cold. Amma, I want to play. Come in here. Okay, look, mother has the vision that you play in the rain, you'll get cold. The child wants to enjoy the game. So what does the mother do? Okay, oh, never mind, you play the game because I want to be, you play. No, it's not like that. You have a higher welfare of the child, and in future this is going to happen. So you persuade the darling, you come here, then together we'll go out and play. Let the son come. Some words of consolation you provide him to give him the comfort to come back into the house because you are thinking about his higher future. So you're not focusing, you're not losing the sight of the end goal, but the flexibility is given towards making your end result become more actualized.
So I think I saw something fly by the chat, and I think it might be helpful. Anusha, do you mind reading the last comment that somebody made? I thought that was
It says, please share some experiences of conviction.
okay. So I think we hear you, brother. I think we're still, we've gone through the exercise. We've talked about, the 5 aspects, the 5 facets of the Atma. It's a diamond and so on. But make it real for us. Forget about the benefits of it, right? That was a question I was about to ask you. But the question that I think the audience here wants to know is, make it real for us. What does that look like? What does it look like for you? Do you have an example of what that conviction, that faith looks like?
Yeah, yesterday I was in a Zoom session until 11:30, and then I had another Zoom call. I slept about 3:30 or maybe later than that. And then I got up early this morning. I came to the university. Now I'm sitting in my university because I have a lecture in 1 hour. This moment this thing finishes, and then I jump onto the class. So I'm sitting and doing this in the university. Now you see, my end purpose is I have to give my lecture. But did I say to you all that I cannot make it, I'm too busy, I'll be too caught up, can it be postponed? I didn't do all that. I'm flipping myself backwards because the ultimate aim, my vision is that all of us should have the experience. So I'm actually living what I'm talking about. But I have to get up early in the morning. I have to do my work. I have to do all what I have to do and make this happen. Now, if I'm doing it out of frustration, oh, because of this, I have to come early to work, then I don't know. Then I'm not practicing my spirituality. I enjoy this moment, and I arrange my life accordingly to make sure that I go to the class, I finish my work, I do. So I'm flexible enough to make the immovable, have the immovable faith that the best must be given to everybody concerned in my daily life. So this is exactly what I'm doing right now. So if you ask me for an example, that's it.
This is fantastic. I think this is there. And, participants, brothers and sisters, please keep the questions coming, because we want to make this an engaging conversation. Otherwise, we'll walk away with, oh yeah, this is really nice, and now I got to go out and do whatever I need to do next. So, what do you think, Saidata? Should we ask the question now? Like, okay, this is all wonderful.
Yes.
Well, how does it help me in my
Why?
the why? What does it do? Like, does it help me in my spiritual life? And by the way, we talked about not just the immovable, right? We've talked about the 4-5 different aspects of the Atma through it, right? And how does this help us in our daily life? How does it progress us in our spiritual life? As I'm asking the question, I feel like I'm failing you, brother. But I have to. I ask you, yeah.
There's a reason you are here with like few hours of sleep and then helping us understand this. I'm sure there's a strong why behind it, but please help us understand that better.
What? Understand what? No,
The why
ask me the,
behind this thing.
yeah, the why is because I have the feeling that time on earth is very short. So I have to do whatever I need to do in the best possible manner quickly so that I wrap up my act and move out when the time comes. So my intention is that, you see, if there are 58 people sitting here, the 58 people's souls somehow must be kindled, somehow they have a happy life, joyous life. That gives me joy. That gives me immense joy. And that's it. I got nothing else in this because nobody has instructed me to do this, and there's no necessity for me to do this. But when you're doing something without any personal benefit, there's a very powerful feeling, number one. Number two, also for a selfish reason, I enjoy this process. I enjoy Atma, connecting to Atma and making everybody connect is a passion that I have. So I just do, that's my why. My why gives me the fact that if everybody can find answers to their problems in a spiritual manner, that gives me the purpose of why I'm existing, because it gives me a very strong purpose. So that is what drives me every day in my workplace, in my office place, and whatever. So 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 3 a.m. I sleep. I put my alarm and get up at 4:35 and do my work. So it's a question that I have to do this because it is something that is urging me to do, and I do it. So that's the why. So once you start transcending the mind doesn't hold you and make you believe, oh, I can't do this. I have this to finish and I've got that. So that is what immovable means. That means that is what the wrong meaning of immovable. Very rigid, very fixed. I can only do this, and there's no ability to accommodate ability. That's not. When you are an Atmic, you become productive. Atmic life becomes, the mind becomes consolidated. The mind becomes concentrated. When a mind is concentrated, you find you can finish your work faster. Number two, you find that your work becomes arranged. Number three, you know how to prioritize what it is. Number four, you'll execute it seamlessly and you'll enjoy the whole process because Atma organizes it. Atma rearranges it. So why not I give? That's why we started this whole thing with saying what? We are saying that Atma, my friend. So I have a friend in my life who is very, very good in doing all these things. So I allow my friend to help me. Just like you do the chat GPT and all your technology and all that. So you have Swami gave an inbuilt highest system, which is Atma, which is giving you quintillion levels of bliss. Why not I connect to that and make me arrange and make me productive and make me a happy life? That's it.
Priyanka, like you were talking about this again, doing this day in and day out would be difficult, right? I mean, I know what you're saying. I mean, I understand like why we are doing this and it should be like all these things. I agree. But again, like there is
If you
something
love a
called
girl,
self-care also, right? Like you would like give some rest to your body too. I mean,
if you love
practical
a girl or love a
implication.
boy, Yeah, you'll do, you will meet any extent, you'll buy the flowers, you go, anything, because our expression of love is sacrifice. But of course, I agree with you. You should not do it to an extent where it punishes us and have an effect on the body, and then the body will get a toll on that. Then that's not correct. But these are things that has happened, like you organize this and so open the culture. So the thing is, what happens is normally it doesn't happen like that. But generally, when it happens, you have the ability to manage that. And that is very critical. So the why is a very important question, because why gives you a lot of impetus to do. For me, the why is the death, because once that happens, everything is snatched away. So what is that? You can have 1,000 philosophies and 100 discussions and 200 books there, but none of that is going to be applicable when it happens. So when you are living in this world, make use of the best time and do what you can do.
So is
And-
this, yeah, go ahead, Sahil.
No, go ahead, brother. You see.
No, I was trying to make sense of what he was sharing with what we have on this slide and trying to stitch the two together, right? So we talked about value. I mean, ultimately, if we give a framework to folks to take away from this as to the why, you start with the unshakable faith, and then you end up with some form of spiritual expansion. And in the middle is what Brother Suresh has said about the divine connection. I probably oversimplified this, and maybe it is that simple. Does that sound right, brother? Are those the...
No. All right, that's right. That's right. You hit it, Sanjeev. You hit it.
Yeah. Well, you know where this is going. We've talked about the what it is. We talked about the why is, and I know the questions are going to come fast and furious here in a second. So if there is something, please do stop us right now, because as Saidata said, it's like, okay, we got it. Get it. But the question is how. So, right. So if you go to the next,
How do we do it?
how do we do this, right? We've got this friend, the Atma, and in particular, we've got this immovable aspect that we can tap in anytime, just like ChatGPT. Like that actually resonated really well. But how do like, where is the how? Can you elaborate on that, brother?
How is when you deeply know that you are in the jail. If you can feel that you're in the jail, you want to come out. People sometimes don't realize that they're in the jail. Then how to come out? Tell me. How will you come out of a jail when you don't realize you're in a jail? So that is why Krishna was born in the jail. First thing was born, the jail door opened, he came out. So the key symbol of that is, although we know the story, but we just keep repeating it, not realizing that that is exactly meant for us, because if we live with our limitations, we live with the confinement, we live with our finite thing, and that's all your experiences are going to be, because your limitations have defined you. Your barriers have defined you. Oh, I can't do this. I'm not able to achieve this. I cannot. So when you keep on explaining all these things and living in that limitation, that's all your experience is going to be. But Atma experience is totally different. So first, I must get out of my jail. But first, to get out of the jail, I must realize I'm in a jail. To realize you're in a jail, this is where the books comes in, the life stories of great people, the saints and the sages and all the Jnanavayini, Swami is telling. So the thing must go inside. Oh my God, Bhagavan, this is what you're trying to tell us. You said I've come to give you so many things, but you never asked me for the thing that I've come to give you, which is the liberation itself. Liberation is not when you're dead and you get moksha. That's not correct. That's the wrong perception. That is what everybody is conditioned. Liberation must happen when you are in this world, living in the body. Samabuddhi, samadhi comes from samabhuddhi. Samabhuddhi means equal-mindedness. How do you get that equal-mindedness? Understand that you will now live in this world for him. When you're living in this world for him, hey, you look at the prayer, look at the last prayer. You're in the center, oh Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work for thee. Do you know what? Oh, this is now like a parrot. Might as well you put a tape recorder or some parrot there chanting, oh Lord, take my everything. Sometimes when I hear that, it brings shivers into me, because take my everything, take my identity, take my name, take me, just take everything, but make me an instrument to work for thee. You see? The point of the story is that, therefore, don't let me say that I don't have time. Don't let me say I cannot commit. Don't let me say all these things. Don't let me limit myself in this manner. Then I just want to be an instrument. And I know when I commit to you, I know you will give me the time, you will give me the energy, you will. That faith we must have, that conviction we must have. Start practicing that. You'll find that when you go and do your work, suddenly you'll find something's happening in your workplace. Suddenly somebody will give you something. Suddenly a book will fall on the table. Suddenly information will come to you. And suddenly you find that instead of spending such a long time doing, you'll get everything just in your hands. The law of least effort, Deepak Chopra talks about it. The law of least effort, which means it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. But working smart can only come when you connect. Connectivity is very important. So this, how first realize we are limited. That is acceptance. Somebody put there, remember the mentee, somebody said acceptance is accept the fact that we are limited. Now, how do we come out? Now, come out of the limited jail that we have by having a higher vision for ourselves. And that cannot happen when Swami said two things you must remember, death and God. See, I connected back the whole thing to the death and God. And then choose your role model wisely. So if you're deciding to do this, okay, if they are sparrows, you fly with the sparrows, you'll be only flying at a lower level. But if you fly with the eagles, then your levels of capacity and optimizing yourself will be much higher if you are with those things. So where are your role models? Who are your people whom you are following? And this is what is in now in the center. I give a good example how those days we used to have. We have a lot of centers. So I used, when I was young, I noticed when I go to have after the session, coffee break and all that. After bhajans, we all hang around. The youth will hang out. I saw the conversation. Somebody will say this person has got this, but this person has got less. This quality is not there. Then the other person will have that. So they'll be judging this and talking there. I realized you cannot be perfect in this world. You can never be for everyone who, if you got 10 qualities, 10 person with 10 qualities, you will have 7 may be good, 3 may not be good. But mostly the 3 that is not good becomes glaring, and then you'll discuss about the 3 that is not good. But wisdom is to choose the 7. Can I be any one of those 7? Forget the 3. Just I be 7. Then the other person has got another 4. This person has got another. So I pick up all these things from different people because they all they are like a personification of gurus with different attributes. Like there's Vishwarupa or Satyasai is in the Sai center with different people. Your center also have like that in your Chicago. You'll have somebody very, very hardworking, very, very this one. Like that day when I went to where was this? Edmonton, I think. There's one Uncle Tia. They told me that uncle is already man, 83 years old, but he comes to the center to do the cleaning. I see it still sticks in my head. When I was talking to him, and why do you do that? And then he was the others were trying to persuade him, uncle, it's okay, we can manage. But he said, no, until whatever happens, I want to continue serving Baba. That was an inspiration to me by 83-year-old man. That's a Vishwarupa, that's an expression of commitment and dedication and perseverance, which he talked. Although simple, it is registered in my mind. My God, if I am 83, I should be like him, I said. So like that, everyone has got an attribute to help me to escape from my limitation. That Vishwarupa self is in your center, Sai center. You must open your eyes and watch it and see it and experience them and enjoy each one of them to help you to know that they are the ones who are the teachers who help you as a student. This is the meaning of the word. Universe is university. See? Now what we do is we remember universe is university. So you look at the universe, where? Oh, this whole galaxy, the stars, the earth. We look at the universe is here in the center or in your family, in your place. This is your universe. In this, for a microorganism, that universe is only in the cell, So like that, we need to know how to see things. That's why Swami said, drishti will create srishti. From what you see and how you see, you can create the world.
Yeah, this
Okay, let's
sounds
pick
very
up
similar to our. Sorry, Uncle, you were saying something?
No, finish your statement. Finish. What is
No,
it?
no, I
What
was
were
just
you
saying this brings us back to like the very thing that you were saying, like becoming a student of the university, right? Being vigilant of our surroundings and making like those complaints that we do. You were saying like how we can convert those into a learning session for ourselves and try
Yeah.
to understand that better. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like when I came for Chicago, that the other speaker, Brother Sriram, isn't it? That the other speaker was
Srinivas,
So
Uncle.
SSC Srinivasan uncle, Uncle Srinivas. He was an SSC teacher. At that age, he's connecting to students. I was watching that they gave a talk. I was sitting down listening. At this age, you're still connecting to, always thinking about students, always connecting to students. It was very inspiring to me. and you are able to do that. My God, when in various conversations I saw him, how he was connecting to the children, making them feel at home,
Yes.
and it's an inspiration. It's an inspiration. How many notices? How many they will think? Oh, teacher means must do that. Oh, that's what SSC teachers do. They have to do that, and then you will pass by. But the question is, hey, it's a beautiful lesson of connectivity. Then that Manjula sister, she was doing that. What tunes was it? What tunes was it? Some tunes, sweet tunes, sweetathon.
Yeah, sweetathon.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are trying to create that as a. I like that idea now. I told her to send. She sent me that procedure, and we have SOP and standard operating procedures to see how it. That particular activity brought adults, youth, teachers all to work together
Everybody
and
together.
made all the sweet things with natural products. And then there was a judging competition. Then so it's a beautiful expression. But I saw the purpose, connectivity of the teacher and the students are connecting, parents are connecting. And to do what? To develop faith in something. Collaboration and cooperation brings about the faith. What is that faith? Unshakable faith, which is what? Immovable. These are all expressions of immovable towards something, but using a methodology of sweetathon. This is a competition. So everybody in the world can.
So I'm curious, we've covered a lot of ground, covered a lot of, lessons. We've talked about the immovable. And then if you go back to the prior slide, it's something that occurred to me while you were sharing, find a purpose, take a step, right? So for all the people who wrote, what keeps your ground steady, right? All the doers, right? One thing that, I would ask, I asked this question, but I just want to confirm if this is the right answer. To find a purpose, sometimes I struggle, right? Like I should be doing this, etc. But one thing that you did share the last time at the retreat and in the call to action, brother, you said, you want to find a purpose, the easiest purpose. No, I'm paraphrasing, so please forgive me if I'm not quoting you exactly the way word for word. But the simplest purpose is serve Swami, serve his mission, right?
Yeah.
So if you take that as the purpose, then automatically there's not a lot of ambiguity about what steps you need to take towards it, right? Does that make any sense, or am I just
No, that's it. Because you see, everything that we do become a subset of what the whole bigger chaperone of the whole purpose is. Swami said three things. When he said purpose, you are serving a teacher because you understand. The teacher said, I have come to spread Ananda in this world. My task is to spread Ananda. Okay, from this moment onwards, I want to be happy. I'll get up in the morning and feel happy, and I try to give happiness to everybody. I'm part of his mission. Every day, I'm part of that mission. Simple. From this moment onward, decide to be happy. I don't want any disturbance in my system to make me unhappy. Or if I find it unhappy, I quickly dismiss it and come back to my happiness, because Baba said, my task is to give Ananda. I want to be part of the task force. Simple as that, simple. Then I find that purpose. Okay, in my life, whatever I do, I become happy. Whatever I'm committed to, I become happy. So if you have that attitude, how can you be deviating away from that purpose? So in other words, I just understand what second point he said, I have a vow to stray away, those who have strayed away from the path of goodness, to bring them back. Baba said in the second line. So now I just help in the whole work of Swami's work, in which helping people, helping programs that brings people greater awareness. Like yesterday, the other day, we did a we launched a teenage pregnancy prevention program for all Latin American countries, and Canadian girls. They all came together. And we saw Mexico, how Mexico was inspired by Malaysia. And then they went back and they did that program. My God, it brought tears to my eyes to see the teachers going to schools and touching the girls, and how the girls are transforming. And they showed the video. And it's amazing, and it's so inspiring. And the coordinator of this program was in tears. She was also in tears. She couldn't talk because she was so moved by the fact that something like this has happened to this magnitude. So what does it mean? I have a vow. Hey, Bhagavan, those who have strayed away from the path of goodness, bring them back. That's it. So if I fulfill that, hey, I'm his mission, I'm his purpose. And third one, Baba said, I'm here to elevate poverty and suffering. So anything to do seva, anything. So once I have these three milestone in my achievement, in my embedded into my own daily operations, hey, I'm part of the whole thing.
Kind of purpose.
Simple. It's so spirituality cannot be complicated. It has to be simple and easy. Makes sense?
Yes, yes.
It's making a lot of sense. It's making a lot of sense. I would love to just pause here for a second and see if there are. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground. In all fairness,
Yes.
I think we would love to hear from the audience. If you have any comments or questions, if you can punch it into the, you're more than welcome to, just raise your hand if you'd like to ask directly. But we've covered a lot of ground here, right? We've talked about the Atma, we've talked about specifically the immovable, we've talked about the what, the why, the how. Can please feel free, give the minute here and punch in some questions for Brother Suresh.
I have a
I
question.
Sister Advaita has a question. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
beautiful.
Yes, brother, like you said, just be happy. And I realize that when I am triggered, now I try to flip the switch and I try to be happy, and I just I try to go through those layers, like, oh, this is nothing, this will pass, or whatever. I give all those things. But I know that my face muscles don't allow me to give that genuine smile. And that's an indicator that I'm just trying to fake it. I mean, trying, but then, yeah, there's something that energy is stuck in my cheeks, And so now I want to be happy. That's my goal, I know, but I also know where I'm stuck. So is that a process, or can I switch it in a second's thought?
So
Thank you.
if you want to switch it, you have to go back to the rationalization of that particular exercise. So the question is why the muscles are not obeying you is because there is certain things that is happening in your mind. Because the person who has created this, your mind is telling you she doesn't deserve your smile or he doesn't deserve your smile. So although you want to make it, your muscles are resistant to change. So your muscles are not wanting to give that pleasure to the other person. So now the key point is now flip the switch. Yes, she irritated you. Or he irritated you. He disturbed you or done something which is not happy for you. But the thing in that particular individual is also body, mind, and intellect, and Atma. Her Atma is not responsible for her behavioral action. Atma is unsullied. Atma is pure. So if I can relate to her Atma and just be concerned only by that, by focusing on that Atma, you will find that you will be transcending her physical, mental, emotional states and looking at her higher potential and reacting to that. Once you can see, this is what it means by see God in everything. See, it's all these philosophical things. So sometimes when people repeat all these things, I always say, what do you mean by that? How do you do that? See, I must see Sa in everything. Okay, how do you do that? So, we break the whole, we have to unpack all these statements. Whenever something of this nature statements are meant, although it is the most powerful method, but people hide behind those things and don't put it into real thing. Then this is where the problem is. Now, putting into practice simply means that I have the realization that you are the Atma, and that is it is a result of that you are now this. And the fact that you've done this to me, acceptance. Come back to the first one. What's acceptance? You did this to me because I must have done this to you in the previous life. So thank you for doing this to me because at least I'm paid. So you should gratitude should be to this person because he has already managed to download the karmic implication of it. At least he's being paid. Now your smile will become more and more genuine because you are now, she has helped you to, or he has helped you to come out of the jail. See, come out of the liberation. See, the rationalization takes place. So now you tell the mind with that satisfaction, hey, thank you so much for doing this. Now the muscles gets relaxed, smile becomes more genuine, and the Suddhi, Trikarna Shuddhi becomes more practical. Heart, head, and hands are more aligned. So what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're thinking is the same thing. So this is the rationalization that must go inside the head.
Thank you.
Brother Ramesh?
Brother Ramesh. Yeah.
I didn't unmute. Okay. Saram, Brother Suresh, thank you for all your wisdom that is just oozing out like like breathing, it comes out so easy. And like I think Saidata originally in the first introduction, she said when we listen to you and we think about it, we're great. Okay, fantastic. This is fantastic. But when we are actually in the situation, dealing with it, that makes it a little bit, confusing. But totally agree with you in most of the things which you said, and I have personally experienced a lot of things that have changed. And since the Prema Vahini, now I use this in a day-to-day basis, n number of times, and that really makes life a lot more peaceful, a lot more, because I deal with people every day, and there are people with total number of variety of thought. But one question I have is this, when people are really bent upon inflicting fear or doing things for the public in multiple ways, right? They're trying to do this by either by social media or by the way they communicate or by the way they talk. When they do things like that to cause more fear to people and do these things, do we actually confront this or do this, or because we know this is really taking a toll on the public, because people are living in social media a lot. And as a professional, when I'm deal with this, they come across with all these things, which is causing a lot of confusion for the people. They are looking for some kind of help and they lose that. And do we do something to confront this at a level, or do we kind of, how do we generally address this? First instance is to kind of confront, but I'm thinking, no, I should not do that. I should let them leave, but kind of,
Okay, so there are two things that you have. One is area of control, area of influence. So when you look at any problem in life, whatever, what is it that is in your control, or what is it that you can completely influence? So when you can bring things from the control into the area of influence, then you look at specifically what is the program that you can implement, what is the practical way of reaching out in many ways, and make it happen. Like, for example, and I read 10 years ago, this teenage pregnancy thing and all, and everybody, what to do, brother, what to do. Everybody tells me, what to do, brother. This is happened. This is Kali Yuga, brother. Kali Yuga, I tell you, I've been listening to this story. So that's when I decided, that's it, the buck stops here. And then we started this VIP program and created a whole training approach, got the girls to be excited. And then we did this. Now we did Panama, Mexico, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Thailand, and yesterday with all this. Why? Because my intention is that I told them, next year, we must have an international conference on this particular thing, bring United Nations inside and talk practically how we are doing it. So that's my vision. That's the Sankalpa. So this is area of influence, something that we can do, make it happen and make it a better place to live in. We may not have the best answers. It doesn't matter. At least we are moving forward. There'll be some other association, organization that will come to assist us, but at least we are moving towards the direction. Like that, if you have a problem, if there are people who causes this, and if you can have a structured, systematic approach collectively and make towards making people become more aware, then that is Dharma Samstapana and work. That is what Swami said. I am one arm of the scissors, you are the other arm of the scissors. Together we must cut the cloth of Dharma Samstapana. And how this works is very simple. You pray inside, Swami, I'm going to do this. And then open your eyes and you see, as you walk, the things will happen. Somebody will come, some photo will come, something. All this will come to you to help you to make your work easier. This is how working for his mission means. If I'm doing something for the purposes of my own glory and my own name, it won't go so far. So first ask Swami, is this work to do? Is this something that I should do? You want me to listen? Give me, close your eyes, meditate, something will happen. Within 2-3 days, something will happen, then suddenly you'll find somebody passing by, someone giving you some information. This is how they work in the universe, in the spiritual universe. This is how they work. Then you must be more susceptible, more aware of this awakening, and then ride with the tide and go towards where the tide is taking you, to make this world a better place to live in whatever limited way we can.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. That was very beautiful. Thank you.
So I think we have one question that we glazed over. I wasn't sure if we just missed it in the process, but Geeta, do you mind asking that question? That I think this is from about 15-20 minutes ago.
Yeah, the question is, how do you deal with when I did not get enough sleep? I'm tired. I think this came up when you guys were covering the
why, right?
the why and the how. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. So how do you get sleep? See, I realize the subject of sleep is, it's not the length of sleep, it's the depth of sleep. You must have very deep collapsing sleep. So the depth of sleep, that's why there's a subject called sleep hygiene. How you go to bed and with what thoughts you go to bed is very important. How you see, for me is when you're going to sleep, you're making an appointment to see Baba. So the conscious mind stops, the subconscious mind opens up. So this is a chance for you to see the Lord. So it's an open invitation. It's like going for interview with Swami, you know? So like that. So when you go like that, you will have very beautiful, deep sleep. And although the sleep can be short, but it can be very deep. And so when it's deep, when you get up, you feel very refreshed. When you get up in the morning, how you know you had good sleep is you must feel like a lion when you get up. Not another 10 minutes more, please, Amma, another 20 minutes more, just another, and like that. No, then it is not a good sleep. You must wake up, the eyes open, it must be like like that. It must be like that. So for that to happen, the sleep is the single most important thing in a spiritual life. That's why I told I think I gave a talk somewhere how to make sleep a spiritual exercise. I gave a talk. So how do you make that spiritual? What should you eat before you sleep? Or how should you wash your legs before you sleep? All that is sleep hygiene, part and parcel of the things. And then don't watch some horror movie before going to sleep. You know, you will get disturbed sleep. So how you let your mind go into that is an art. And once you develop the art, you'll enjoy sleeping. Then sleep. And then the daytime you stay awake, nighttime you must sleep well.
Thank you. I think we may have time for maybe one more or two more. I know there's like the questions are coming in faster, which is absolutely amazing. I think some of the questions are coming in fantastic. So maybe Geeta, I think somebody raised their hand, right? I think it was a Chitra.
Chitra raised the hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Chitra. Is this a silent question?
Maybe she's trying to unmute herself.
Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Sairam, thanks. First, I want to just appreciate this whole session. This has been fantastic. You all did an amazing job of preparing for this. And moreover, I think I have personally learned so much, and I think I have progressed in my spiritual journey by walking through these sessions with you all. So I'll start there with the very but I also feel very humble because I, even as you were sharing, Uncle, the idea of, okay, sleep hygiene, I'm not there yet. And I'm also feel like I still have this question of when will Swami give me the answers or the time or the energy to be able to do all the things I long to do in all the spheres of my life. So between being, a fantastic mom and a, fantastic professional and a fantastic Psi organization leader, or a participant member, how to balance all the things and have the time for everything. I haven't figured it out yet, and I'm wondering if you have any suggestions. Because again, when I hear you, I think it's so simple. Go to sleep 3 hours, work 2 hours, get up, do everything. All the answers will come. And I feel that I have really been very dedicated to this, and I still haven't gotten it yet. So what tips do you have, Uncle?
Yeah. So I think first question is we should stop asking that question. How can I do all this? That question should be stopped. We should cease from asking that question, number one. Number two, whatever that you have, this is a yoga part. If you are with your child, 100% enjoy the process. If you're going to work, and 100% enjoy. Just be the thing. Don't worry about where you're going to go and whether we can have the capacity to do everything. All that is not necessary. Once we enjoy doing what we do it and do it well enough, you'll find that your system will give you the energy and the time to arrange itself, to organize itself, and to make it happen. So the Atmic relationship which you will have will guide. You'll be taken by that. So we let the mind let go of the mind, because the mind is coming into it too much to give certain direction, or this has to be like a certain expectations and all that. So when the mind starts dictating, then the Atma is very quiet. It just lets go and just goes back quietly back again into the jail. It doesn't come out. So you have to let go of that mind and allow the Atma to take over. You find that the hijacker gets out of the plane, you'll find back on the board, and you'll be just enjoying life. That's how it's done. But idea is to let go. So letting go is a very big thing, because if you don't let go, then you'll find that the mind continues to dictate terms and inform us that this is how it has to be, that is how it has to be. Then we won't go into the experience of loving my uncertainty, which is an expression of Atma. Baba said that, love my uncertainty. So every day in our life, the whole day is given to you to enjoy the whole process. Don't we must not think about how we should do, what all the things to do. I don't think so. I think just do what you are given to do and enjoy. You'll find as time goes by, hey, the ball, you are starting to juggle more things. Two, three, you are circling, and then suddenly someone gives you an extra tennis ball. You start to juggle like. So keep on increasing the tennis balls like that. Then you'll be able to juggle like that. That's how to do. And then as a result, sleep also is not, I don't have to think about what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't have to take it, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. The mind disturbs the sleep. Hey, I'm going to sleep, that's it. If I wake up tomorrow, I will do all the other things. That's my attitude. Tomorrow, if I wake up, I'm okay, I'll do it. If I don't wake up, what can I do? So once you have that sort of attitude, you'll find you become very detached to things. You just allow things to happen. So you enjoy. Our job in life is to enjoy everything. Like now, the conversation I'm having with you and the session that I'm having with you is I enjoy every moment of my thing. That's why I've come here, for a selfish reason, to enjoy. But the moment this finishes now, at in about 15 minutes, I jump into another into my parasitology class. Oh boy, it's okay. Anyway, I go to that class and I have to teach that class it's a master's class. I have to teach that, and then the moment that finishes at 11:15, I jump on the car and I have to now rush to a corporate training, which I'm supposed to be doing for another session. From this to 6 o'clock, I have to do. I will come back. So I do that. But so whenever I'm in session, I just enjoy that session and I come back. So enjoy. The whole day is given for you to enjoy.
Brother, we don't want to be responsible for keeping you away from the
No,
excitement
I'm okay. Don't worry.
of a parasitology class. So say that.
Carry on.
Say that.
We've got still 15 minutes. Ask other questions. Anything? I think there were some other questions there, Sanjay.
There was one question that, if you do have a couple of minutes,
Ask.
Yeah, Geeta, the one question that that came in the chat.
The question was, how do you handle when others judge your goodness and happiness, your living and sharing? Is this reflection of my ego?
Yeah. If others are judging you for your goodness, that's very good, because Baba said mango trees are full, people will throw stones. That means your mango tree is full. If people are noticing you, you should be happy. If people are not noticing you at all and not making any comment about you, you're not worthy of a comment. Hey, I used to think, if someone is taking an assassination attempt at you, at least you're worthy of a bullet, man. You see, nobody's making any assassination attempt on you because you're not worthy of a bullet. What to do? So Baba said, when elephants are walking, dogs will bark. But that doesn't mean elephants should look at the dog. So the whole point of the story is that just do what you do. People will judge, people will comment, people will see. Even when you're rising, people may comment. Don't listen. Firstly, learn how to be deaf. Then learn how to be dumb. Then that is how to do. Then how to go through your life. Otherwise, you'll be listening to so many comments. I have received so many in my life. Whenever I start anything new, everybody will be criticizing. And I always enjoy criticism, because when people say it cannot be done, I feel very excited. That means my job is to make sure it's done. So criticisms and negativity, everything else is the fuel. Use that as a fuel to grow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There was a clarification from Uma Didi, right? I think she said, I don't have the chat here in front of me, but just on your response right now, she wanted to confirm something. So could someone just read that?
Letting go of our thoughts and our worries. Is that what you mean?
Is that what you mean, brother, when you shared what you shared?
What do you mean? Exactly. I don't know what you mean. Read the question, because I can't see.
You mean to say that letting go of our thoughts and our worries.
Oh, yes. So whenever a thought and a worry comes about, it is demonstrating to you that you are attached to certain things. So when you keep on focusing on that thought, that attachment will start growing. Attention is the fertilizer for attachment. Attention is the fertilizer for attachment. The more and more you give attention, it will start growing and growing and become bigger, 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 and then it overwhelms you, and that is where we get emotionally into the quicksand. So don't give attention to that. Always think of that. That's why Swami said, when the child is holding the knife, the mother comes in, drop the knife, the child will hold on to the knife harder and may hurt herself. But the mother says, hey, look at this, chocolate here, chocolate here. The child looks at the chocolate and drops the knife, and then in that process, the mother picks up the knife. Like that, we need to dangle the chocolate. What is your higher chocolate that you're having? Go for the higher chocolate. You find the lower attachments don't affect you. Lower impulses don't affect you. This is how it is.
I'm
Oh, yes.
sure we can go on and on with the question and answers, Uncle, but we definitely don't want you to be late for your next lecture.
No, let's finish it because it's 30 minutes. No, don't worry about that. Just go on. Let me tell you also, even this next lecture is Masters in Psychology. I introduce one whole module on mindset, So all the forestologists, all the scientists in the dean faculty, everybody said, why are we introducing one whole day lectures, 10 lectures, 10 weeks of lectures on mindset, relationship of mindset. And they said, this is a parasitology master's program. We don't need it. They told me like this. I bulldozed. I said, no, it is important. And so now it has done now for the second, third year, this is going on. The feedback that we get from the students is always when they take, they find that the mindset course is the most relevant in their lives. And so the dean now has asked me, can you please implement the same course for now the whole faculty? So the issue is that sometimes you see a vision is something that when you have it, when you implement it, initially you'll always be criticized and always be seen, but it's not what you should focus on. That, yeah, this is immovable. When you have continuous faith in something good, you must be immovable. People make comments, people will think, don't worry about it. Once you keep on doing it and then you see the results will be obvious. So I'm giving you very practical examples of what's happening in our life, just to demonstrate.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that, Uncle. And that brings us to our homework. Like all of you know who have been attending our session, that it's all about doing it in our day-to-day life. It's not just listening to Uncle and like understanding here, but also taking it to our next day-to-day life, till we meet again, just to continue that. And this week's session or this month's session, the homework that is to understand how to remove this ego and like understand Atma and its true nature, which is the opposite of all these words that you see, which is immovable, immeasurable, unmanifest, all these things that we were talking about and Uncle was sharing here.
Yeah. So, so what's the homework is?
Like
what the homework
towards it, Uncle, and understanding how to get rid of this ego and trying to like live the true nature of the Atma.
So one good way of doing this homework is catch your ego. So how you catch your ego is look at your petrol tank. So in the petrol tank, E, you have E and F, right? So when the meter goes to E, that means it's ego. And when it goes to F, it's fulfillment. So now when it's going towards E, what is it that makes you go towards E? Anger, agitation, restlessness, fear, anxiety, all these emotions are telling you got ego. So now in a day, how many times the ego prism is put back? How many times the ego prism comes up? Once you start becoming vigilant of the ego prism, the frequency of the ego prism becomes less and lesser as the months goes by. First time, one day you may have 10 or 15 times, then it comes 12 times, then 10 times, 9 times, like that it keeps on. So then you just analyze why is it coming inside, which is the reason for the ego to come inside. Then you analyze the reason who put it there. Then what is your relationship with the person who you put it there. So when you analyze those kind of things, jnanam will start coming inside. Knowledge will start. That jnanam is what that is going to give you the intense desire for that liberation and everything else to connect to the Atma. So catching ego is a very powerful exercise. So you see how many times, what ego exercises, what ego you have caught in the next 1 month, and then we'll narrate our experiences as we progress. Don't forget, today is the last day of the 5 characteristics. We took about 6 months, I think, to finish one sloka, one Gita sloka in chapter 2. So now we have to keep going towards finishing all the other slowly. So you see, can you see the depth of what one sloka can finish in 10 minutes or 5 minutes? You can just read that. But we took 5 months or 6 months to finish this, step by step, like this, understand each word, what it means, what it is. So this is what the depth of the knowledge of the Gita is all about. Otherwise, we'll be just finishing texts and thinking that we know it. But honestly, it comes in the practice. Like the lady who told me that I look at this, I got a library of what library of recipe books. Then I said, you must be a good cook. He said, no, I don't go to the kitchen. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this is the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Saidatta?
Thank you so much, Uncle. Thank you so much for sharing this. And thank you, each and everyone, for joining and staying till the end to hear this. With this homework in our mind, let's try to implement that in our day-to-day life. And let's move on to our closing prayers. And we wish to see you for our next month session, which will be November 2nd. Sai Ram, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Sai
Good
Ram,
night.
Sai
Sai
Ram.
Ram.